Hi everyone, I'm Hoodie Angel Brandon, and welcome to another Fire Emblem Heroes Abyssal Clear. Today, we are taking down the combined forces of Thórr and Eitri in a legendary and mythic hero bound hero battle. And we're going to earn the Gold Dark Finery. And this map is a little bit more difficult due to having two big boss enemies for us to contend with. Aside from them, there's a fair number of reinforcements and they do cover a lot of the map, as you can see, but most of the generic enemies aren't that big of a hassle, though there is one armor unit that is a bit of a pain, though of course we have devised strategies to deal with them. And the funny thing about this map is the Infernal map was actually a lot harder than the Abyssal, because the Infernal, the enemies kept dying too fast and our special cooldown counts got messed up. But that is not an issue in the Abyssal map. They're a good deal more tanky and we can reliably proc our specials for our strategy. So real quick, let's take a look at our combatants. Leading the charge this time is Corrin in his ninja attire, ready to sweep the enemy aside. He is running his Gale Force set. We're using the Ninja Naginata and Flashing Blade 4 in conjunction with each other to stack on some extra damage, while he just quads enemies with Gale Force and takes them down. Null Follow-Up and Time's Pulse gives him a bit more consistency. Nothing too out of the ordinary, but a powerful asset to have, for sure. And he is being supported by his loyal retainer, the easygoing ninja Kaze. And he is running his Ninja Grandmaster setup to assassinate enemies and drop debuffs. So he initiates on enemies, charges up his special fast for quick bursts of damage, and then supports the team. We did swap out his Steady Blow seal for Blade Session to give him just a little bit more punch for some of these bulkier enemies that he has to deal with. And he doesn't miss that defense too badly since he's still getting a good chunk from Steady Impact, and the enemies aren't really doing a ton of damage back to him anyway. And he does have lethality for a bit of extra oomph as well. And no follow-up for consistency, though it's not too big of an issue on this particular map. Next up, we have our adorable magical boy Forest. He is running his Pester setup to attack the enemy, do some chip damage, even without Wrathful Staff. With attack speed solo and attack speed push, he's doing a good amount of damage while dropping Savage Blow and controlling the enemy movements with Gravity, which we swapped in over his Candlelight Staff, just to prevent us from getting overwhelmed by reinforcements. And then he can canto away with his Far Trace. Likewise, he can also return to reposition or heal an ally and then move out of the way as well. Very versatile support unit. And finally, rounding out the team is Chris, who is running a Gale Force setup to take on enemies. Plaguean Axe gives him a little bit more oomph and also a little bit of cushion defensively, while also lowering the enemy's attack for his Heavy Blade proc, so that he can more reliably trigger Gale Force and move around the battlefield. And he's also carrying Attack Tactic just to help his allies tear through the enemy a little easier, since they are a bit on the weaker side in terms of attack. And when I build new units, I like to bring them in for that month's Abyssal Clear, so that they can kind of showcase their skills a little more in depth. And this month we had a double feature with Corrin and Kaze, and so following that theme, I thought it'd be fun to bring the other two units that I built this year and have them all work together and clear this out. So with all that said, let's go ahead and jump in. Angel Army, advance! Alright, to start, we're just going to have Chris and Forest swap positions, and we are going to have Chris move up to bait down this Lance Dragon. Forest will go ahead and use Return to move Kaze up, and then he's going to use Canto to move out of the way of these mages Kaze is going to move over, triggering his Needles effect, his ally support with Corrin, and also since Forrest and Chris have moved, his Blade Session is active, and all that is going to combine to give him just enough attack to take down this Axe Cavalier. Bam bam, down he goes. Charge up our special, and now Corrin is going to just pull him out of the way, and we will pass. We dropped defense smoke on this Lance Dragon, so we hit a little harder, but since Corrin is adjacent, we are not triggering the Plaguean effect, unfortunately, but that is fine. Reinforcements spawn in, and Corrin is going to move up and take out the red flyer, trigger his Gale Force, and now he's going to move over and attack the Lance Dragon. Hit him twice, they return with counterattack. Hit him a third time, Miracle triggers, but the quad finishes the job. There we go. And now Chris can move over and take out this blue mage, chop chop, and trigger his own Gale Force. Forrest is going to go ahead and top off his HP, heal him up. And now Kaze can move over and take out the red Fafnir, trigger his lethality, cut through the defenses, and finish him with the double. And lastly, Chris is going to end by moving over one space so that he's in range to provide attack tactic to all his allies. And with that, we pass. Everyone moves, and we are good. So next, Corrin is going to move over and attack the Sword Flyer, hit him twice, and proc that Gale Force. We cannot take out the Lance Dragon, so instead we're just going to play it safe, move over one space to bait him over, and Kaze is going to move over and take out the red flyer. Hit him once, charge the special, tank this counterattack like it's nothing, and then trigger lethality to drop him dead. There we go. And next, Forrest will go ahead and attack this blue bow. Not going to finish the job, but going to do a good chunk of damage nonetheless. Trigger Savage Blow, and then drop Gravity on the opponents to lock them down. And from here, we're going to move to the south here. If we move to this space here, Thórr will move down this way and intercept and overwhelm our forces. But if we move to the south here, we will draw all of these guys down to follow, and Thórr will move her way this way as well, creating a bit of a traffic jam that we can use to control the crowd. And that leaves this space open for Corrin to move here instead, and get in position for next round. Lance Dragon attacks into Chris. We tank it, do a good chunk back, don't finish it, but soften him up for Corrin to clean up. And from here, we're going to have Kaze move over and attack the bow flyer. Bam! Charge up our special, and finish him once again with the lethality. Next, we're going to have Chris move up and attack the cleric. Chop chop. Trigger our Gale Force, and though it's tempting to attack again, for the sake of positioning, we actually want to have him just pull down and wait there. And now Corrin will move over and attack the Lance Dragon. Trigger his Gale Force, and now he's going to finish off the cleric so that he's a little further north on the map, so that he can move around easier later. And now Force is going to move over and attack the blue bow again. Again, doesn't finish the job, but drops that Savage Blow to weaken the enemies, and then drops Gravity to lock them down. And we're going to just continue moving south to continue drawing them down and controlling the crowd. And Forrest is going to be locking them down a lot here, pestering them, and just helping keep them from overwhelming us. So we're going to see a lot of that. Next, we're going to have Chris and Corrin move up out of the way, and Forrest is going to attack the blue bow, finish him off, finally, and once again lock down and drop that Savage Blow, and then retreat. And Kaze is going to start moving up north as well so that he can reunite. And we're going to have Forest move up and attack Thórr now, going to start chipping at her health. She is a goddess, so she will take a little bit longer to whittle down, and we're just going to have Forest pull him up, and we're going to have Kaze and Chris move up as well. And now we'll go ahead and hit the Sword Knight, weaken them, and also lock down Eitri from becoming a problem. And we'll just go ahead and leave Forest there. Chris will pull back, and with that, we can have Kaze move over and chip at Thórr a little bit. Bam, bam. Pass turn. And now we will finish off the Sword Knight. Trigger that lethality. There we go. And we still don't want to attack them. But we can lock them down once more. There we go. Move Forest up. And we're going to have Corn pull Forest out of the way, and Chris is going to pull Kaze out of the way. There we go. And once again, just going to continue this procedure. The slow, painful death. It is inevitable. And it's still not safe to attack Thórr, but Kaze can finish off Eitri. Down she goes. And just need a little bit more time to take her down. So pass again. And now Kaze can finish off the goddess. Trigger lethality. And the lethal blow has been dealt. There we go. Not as bad as it looked. We received the gold dark finery as proof of our conquest. And with that, another Abyssal clear is in the books. So that was a bit of a fun one. Got to showcase all of our newer units, and they all worked pretty well together. They all worked together to make a pretty nice hit-and-run style of play, and it was just pretty dang efficient, if maybe a little bit slow, given that Forest had to play traffic guard and redirect everyone around a bit. But overall, pretty pleased with that one. It was fun to showcase all of these guys once again. So, as always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and maybe even if you were having difficulty finding a solution, this gave you some ideas. Gravity in particular seems to be pretty effective if you can get it to work properly. And as always, this is Hoodie Angel Brandon and the Angel Army, signing out.